It was a bitterly cold winter night when old Mrs. Evelyn lit the last candle in her tiny, wooden cottage at the edge of town. Her hands trembled from the chill, but not just from the cold, from hunger. She hadn't eaten a full meal in 2 days. Her pantry was nearly empty, and the woodpile outside had run low. At 67, she lived alone, surviving on a small pension and growing vegetables in the summer to make ends meet. But tonight, all she had was one piece of dry bread left on the table. Her stomach growled, her body weak, but she knew she had to stretch that food as long as she could. As she picked up the slice and whispered a quiet prayer of gratitude, there was a knock on the door. Startled, Evelyn hesitated. No one came to visit her, especially not at night. She shuffled to the door and opened it slowly. There, standing in the snow, was a young man in his 20s, pale, thin, shivering, and with eyes full of desperation. "Please. I haven't eaten in days," he whispered. "I don't want to steal. I need something to eat." Evelyn looked at the bread in her hand, then back at him. Her stomach screamed in protest, but her heart, it couldn't turn him away. "Come inside, child," she said softly. She placed the bread on a small plate, added a bit of butter she had saved for herself, and handed it to him. The boy stared at her with disbelief, then devoured the food with tears streaming down his face. "Why would you give this to me?" "You need it more than I do," he said. Evelyn smiled gently. "Because one day, when you're strong and full again, remember what hunger felt like. And if you can, help someone else. That's all I ask." He nodded silently, and that night, he slept by her fireplace, wrapped in an old quilt she gave him. By morning, he was gone. He'd left a note, "Thank you, Angel. I will never forget you." Years passed. Evelyn's life didn't get easier. Her eyesight weakened, her garden barely produced enough, and her pension hardly covered the rising cost of living. Yet she never lost her kindness. She still shared what little she had with neighbors, stray animals, or anyone who knocked on her door. One day, at age 76, she received a letter in a golden envelope. It was from a law firm in the city. Confused and frightened, she called her neighbor to help her read it. The letter read, "Mrs. Evelyn Grace. A client of ours, who wishes to remain anonymous, has purchased a property in your name. Enclosed are the keys and details. A car will arrive tomorrow to take you there." Evelyn's hands shook. "What is this?" she asked, her voice barely audible. The next day, a black luxury car arrived. The driver, a well-dressed man in his 30s, opened the door for her with a warm smile. "You don't remember me, do you?" he said. She squinted at his face. "I'm the boy you fed on that snowy night, when you had nothing. You gave me your last piece of bread. You gave me hope." Tears welled in Evelyn's eyes. "I made a promise to myself that night, if I ever got out of poverty, the first person I'd thank would be you." The car drove through the countryside and stopped in front of a breathtaking white mansion, surrounded by flowers and a garden more beautiful than Evelyn had ever seen. Her legs nearly gave out. "This is yours now," the man said. "Paid in full. It has staff, caretakers, and everything you need. You'll never be hungry again." Evelyn was speechless. She stepped inside. The house was warm, filled with light and love. On a table near the entrance was a small glass frame. Inside it was an old piece of yellowed paper, the note the boy had written that night, preserved like treasure. In the years that followed, Evelyn lived with dignity and joy. Children from the local village came to visit her, and she told them stories of kindness, of sacrifice, and of how one piece of bread changed her life. She never bragged. She never sought attention. She only repeated one lesson. Even your smallest act of kindness can echo through time and return like a wave, greater than you ever imagined. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps us going.